You're listening to Season 15 of the Virtual Tailgate, a media bullcrap production covering college football in the Atlantic Coast Conference. I'm Andrew.
I'm David.
And I'm Geoff.
So, actually, Geoff is gone. Godspeed. Hopefully, you come back. We know you have many miles to travel, and Jared is not going to pretend to be you anymore. Be sure to join the tailgate on Facebook at Virtual Tailgate or email us at virtualtailgate@mediabullcrap.com. I can't play Geoff either, so I am not going to even attempt to talk to you guys about the beauty, majesty, and power of Tacovas and how they say terrible things about people not moving out here. So I'm just going to throw it straight over to David to take us into the players of the week.
Yeah, so monster game on Saturday afternoon for the Duke Blue Devils, upsetting Clemson on the road, going for 2 at the end of regulation there for the victory. Just unbelievable day for Duke. All of it led by quarterback Darien Mensah. Had a monster day, 27 of 36 through the air, 361 yards, 4 touchdowns, including both a brilliant first quarter where he threw 3 touchdown passes and that final drive where he orchestrated a 94-yard touchdown drive with converting 2 fourth downs, converting on the 2-point conversion. Huge day. This is why Manny Diaz and company went out in the transfer portal, invested the time and the money to bring Darien Mensah to Durham from Tulane University, doing an incredible job. Got the Blue Devils still firmly in the hunt for an ACC title. Huge day, game ball, Darien Mensah.
And the recipient of that 2-point conversion was Samir Higgins, who not only caught the game-winning 2-point conversion in order to give Duke that ridiculous 46-45 lead, but he also returned a third quarter kickoff 100 yards for a touchdown, instantly answering a Clemson score to keep Duke in the game earlier on.
And my brother's game ball goes to Duke Great Scott, 1.21 gigawatts. He only had 196 yards on the ground, 24 carries, including the game-winning 30-yard PD scamper that sealed the game. And my game ball is going to go to, as David told me to correctly pronounce, Damone June, the running back from North Carolina. He was just a monster on the field. Stopped the 4-game skid, secured Bill Belichick's first win. I really should have proofread this before I read it. But he had 182 all-purpose yards, including 101 on the ground, and a touchdown and anyone in the air. So, in a 63-yard catch and run touchdown in the second half, literally made Syracuse cry tears down their face. They are talking about leaving the conference. Is just a disaster up there in upstate New York right now. I mean, I couldn't believe it. They refused, I think, what I heard, to shake hands with the opposing team because they were so upset about the game. It's what I heard. I don't know if it's true though.
They might be upset that I heard that Fran Brown, he did not appear before Judge Jared last week, but I hear he's a possible hot name in some of the coaching searches.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
as Judge Jared said last week, I think that's a case of get that bag if you can.
That money, son. All right. Well, I guess since I was talking last on that segment, I should talk first on the next one.
I'm glad you get to make the following announcement, Jared. This is going to be fun. I'm going to sit back and enjoy.
All right. Well, these power rankings are brought to you by the deep thoughts from the Virtual Tailgates. So the Atlantic Coast Conference, or like always crappy conference.
All right, I'll give you that one because you somehow didn't use the word ass this time.
But you said it. I mean, David, did you hear him?
I'm just waiting for the announcement of who what the power rankings look like this week, Jared.
Who's the new number one?
So it's a team that's in Virginia that's not Virginia Tech. They jumped up 3 spots after the win over a team that's over in California. Number 2 is Louisville, staying at the same position as they were last week after their 28-16 win over Virginia Tech. Louisville came back from 16-6 at the half to complete the comeback against the Hokies. Number 3 is Georgia Tech dropping 2 spots after their upset loss to NC State by a score of 48-36. Number 4 is Pitt jumping up a spot after their 35-21 over Stanford. And number 5 is Duke with their 46-45 win over Clemson, their first win at Clemson in 45 years. Very impressive job by the Blue Devils. At least they get that curse off their back, or whatever they want to call it. Bottom 3, number 15, Syracuse dropping a spot after the 27-10 loss to UNC. Number 16, Stanford dropping a spot after the 35-20 loss to Pitt. Last but not least, who else? The Boston College Eagles, 25-10 loss to Notre Dame, which means all the teams in the ACC get to say this.
Come on, you damn bird! Come and get me!
Jared, I'm not usually a stop the count kind of guy, but I feel like this is one of those times if the season just plays out just like this, isn't it beautiful to see?
No.
Well, I actually, given the way that Jared read off those power rankings, one of our friends has something to say.
And that's all media bull crap.
Yeah. The media is just trying to minimize us. In case anyone missed it, going back up to the top, the number 1 team in the ACC, the only undefeated conference team for the ACC is the Virginia Cavaliers.
But they lost to NC State.
That was an agreed upon non-conference game. They're at the top of the league.
But it's an NC in the conference. Make sense.
If you can't understand how this works, I explained it to my 70-year-old father today. He's like, "Hey, I wondered how that worked." I told him it took me all of 2 sentences, and he goes, now that makes sense to me. If you are not on that same level, I'm not sure what to do here.
It's because you're part of the sheeple crowd. That's the problem. You go ahead and just
I had wondered, I spent all week, Jared, wondering how you were handling the news of your new Cavalier Overlords. The answer, not well.
Not well at all.
You guys are all part of the you're part of the Illuminati. You know?
My only regret is that Geoff could not be here to bask in this alongside us. But hopefully, with any luck, the Who's will maintain their winning ways a week from now. We're going to talk about that game in a moment. But first, I need to give you an update on how we did in our picks, our bets a week ago.
You really don't.
It was not pretty. Every single one of us hashtag crap the bed last week. But nobody worse than Jared, who managed to lose more than $700. He's already been blaming everyone but himself, which is typical. And though last week I did have the best week of the bunch, I did knock me into the red for the season. Andrew, of course, somehow still light years ahead of the rest of us. He's also the keeper of all the data, the only one who knows the secret formulas. And, well, we won't. That's all we have to say about that, right, Jared?
Here's the thing, Pastor David. You told me, quote, "Follow me and I will lead you to success" with this Miami bet last week. I did. Verbatim, same bet, everything. And we both high-fived each other virtually, said, "We're going to be back in the black, baby." And lo and behold, I'm now so far in the red at this point, there's really nothing to say to me. Like, dude, there's no last-second miracle, nothing. And you're over here saying, "Well, geez, Jared, you really just suck at this." Well, it's because the advice I've been given sucks.
You remember last week, I ran the numbers. If you take Florida State out of this, I would be somewhere in between David and Jared right now. It's just about latching on to that one team.
Oh, man. Well, we got a few games that we're going to talk about in some level of detail this week. Actually, I'm going to go out of order if that's all right, guys. Why don't we start with that team that has made Andrew so much money this season. That's the Florida State Seminoles. They're traveling to Death Valley, taking on Clemson. This is a game that we've known all season would be a premier matchup, possibly for the ACC crown, maybe for a college football playoff berth on the line. Well, maybe not. This is also a classic example, though the matchup is not what we thought it would be, though both Mike Norvell and Dabo, oddly enough, are kind of seem to be sort of at crossroads with their programs and wondering how to get things back on track. It is an interesting game because it demonstrates the point that I was trying to make that I thought Jared would join me in until he started criticizing me instead, which is that Andrew does a lot of funny business when it comes to point spreads. And what he's given us here is Clemson minus 16 and the hook at home over Florida State. Though in the real world, the one we inhabit, it's more like a 2.5 point spread. Andrew has chosen to add 2 touchdowns to Florida State.
I I everyone who wants to can go check my work, go to Vegas Insider, log in, look at their open column. It's the only one that doesn't move, and it's the one that we use. The open
It certainly
column
has moved, Andrew. Moved by 14 points.
the open column the
That's
open
2 touchdowns,
column
my folks.
typically doesn't populate until the Monday before the games start on that week. I don't know what to do with it, but I figured that I'd give everyone on this show a gift with
All right. So the spread is that we're working with there. Clemson minus 16.5. It looks like none of us are taking the Tigers and giving the points here. Um, Jared, what's your prediction here?
Well, why are you asking me? Yeah, I'm the guy that said, "Man, put 500 on Miami to cover the 2 of the hook. That's a guaranteed win." And I lost. Well, why don't ask me for advice? I should be asking you all for advice at this point.
Yeah, that's why we start with you. We work our way from worst to best. You're just picking up on this?
Like, yeah, all right, yeah. Here, I'm gonna do everyone a favor. Pass. Next.
All right. Well, I am also taking Florida State and the points. I actually, honestly, um, the reason that in the real life this game is very close to a pick 'em is because these teams are kind of evenly matched. Both of them, when they're at their best, can do some things. They can both move the ball on offense. We saw that a week ago. Both of them put up over 40 points in their contest a week ago. Questions on the defensive side of the ball for both teams. Um, I, you could tell me a dozen different outcomes from this game. I would believe them. I think Clemson gets the win at home because I think Cade Klubnik has seemed to kind of sort of get things together. I think the Clemson offense is the best unit in this contest. Um, I worry about whether Florida State can keep up with them in a shootout. I don't think FSU can do what Duke did a week ago. I think this is kind of a high scoring affair, something like 35-27 or so. Clemson gets the win, but there's no chance they're covering a 16.5 point spread. Um, and Andrew, I assume you agree that Clemson wins a closer contest, right?
I don't know that I can really actually argue with your your logic there, except for one thing. Do you know when the last time Clemson won at home was?
I'm guessing it wasn't recently.
September 6th, whenever they almost lost to Troy and just barely pulled out a win, 27-16. I
Okay.
I can't like, Death Valley used to be a thing in the ACC, especially in Dabo's time at Clemson, and it's really just lost its luster this year. They lost to Syracuse, they lost to SMU, they lost to Duke, and they lost to LSU at home. That's the reason this game is actually a pick 'em if you're going to make the picks on, online, 2 points that's nothing. Um, I'm taking Florida State because the Florida State has been all over the place this year. They started out like they're, like, sort of pulling the inverse Miami. They started out good. They tanked. They just put up 42 on Wake Forest. I think that they're getting ready to hit into the cruising mode again. Like I really do think that the steady state for a Mike Norvell team should be like slightly better than what they are right now, but not. They shouldn't constantly be a 4-4, like 6-6 team. They should be somewhere more in the neighborhood of like an 8-win team. So I think this is the start back towards that. Like everything about the rest of their schedule says to me they could win out, and this is where it starts.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at their schedule, actually, they get the win at Clemson. They very well might finish the season 8-4. The weirdest 8-4 team in the whole country, right?
Yeah,
Um,
it's nothing like a 4-game losing streak to make sure to get you 8-4.
well, and all of the losses are one-score games. Not that they're good losses; they're not all losses to quality teams, even, but still, like, I don't know. There's a way this season breaks very differently for Florida State. The only question I have in taking them to win straight up on the road is i- Florida State. I wonder if how mentally strong this team is because the last couple of seasons, when one bad thing happens, they kind of fall apart. And it is possible that this Clemson offense punches them in the mouth and FSU has a hard time responding. But I hear you that Death Valley used to be a thing. It still is a thing. It's just that now the death there is happening to Dabo's squad instead of the opponents.
This is true.
That was good analysis, Andrew. I appreciate that. Jared, your analysis was as good as I'd hoped for as well. Thank you. Uh, Listen, we're gonna say we're taking a look at all the primetime games on Saturday. That Florida State Clemson game is on the ACC network. If anybody still gets it. Speaking of network that no one still gets, let's go to ESPN2. That's where the Cal Bears traveling on the road to take on Louisville. Louisville very much in the hunt for the ACC title. Cal trying to play spoiler here and trying to get to bowl eligibility. Monster spread in this game. Louisville -17 and the hook. Um, Andrew and Geoff appear to be kinda hedging here, taking Louisville on the money line just to win the game outright. Jared, you appear to, have more guts than the 2 of them. What do you got?
Well, I think Louisville covers the spread. I do think the Cardinals are the best team in the conference right now. I understand the whole, well, UVA, da, 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 da. I don't really care. I'm looking at the overall product, the consistency week in and week out at this point, and Louisville can take care of business against the better teams. I think they go ahead. Cal comes in, although they had plenty of time to get their buddy adjusted for a Saturday night game. I think the Cardinals at home take care of business and get the job done. Get another win in the ACC. They get one step closer to that ACC title game.
Well, that's not any different than what Andrew and Geoff have said. The difference is you're taking Louisville to kick the living snot out of Cal.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly. I'm like everything that you said is my analysis of the game, but it is I don't know, they could win by 3 or they could win by 30, and I don't care. They're gonna win. So like, well, why are they guaranteed
because
going
Cal's
to
not that good. It's not- Listen, those fans at Cal that scream for their coach to be fired, and we were like, "Oh, that seems a little harsh." Have you not watched them the past few weeks? There's not much talent going on. It's a four-quarter game. Cal can sometimes hang for 2, 3. Hell, Virginia Tech can attest 4 quarters in a football game, but they usually cannot get across the finish line. Louisville, and they're going to take it seriously after they almost got embarrassed by the Hokies last week, will come out motivated with piss and vinegar up their ass and take
I think
it.
I think, Jared, I can clearly see how you have lost $1,500 this year. Again, you have made the argument for why Louisville will win a close game, but that's not what you've bet.
exactly.
Listen,
You're gonna
I
be
know,
very
I still think they're
surprised
gonna
on
come out
Saturday.
motivated to win, and by more than just a field goal. They're gonna come out and take care of business. Louisville did cover
17
the
and a hook
spread.
is a lot of field
Louisville
goal.
Louisville covered the spread against the Hokies, believe it or not, even in that crappy showing.
Okay, let me tell you why you're wrong. Um, do you wanna give
'Cause
any thought to the season that Louisville's put together, which has been an impressive season? I will grant you that they are the second best team in the ACC
I
right
said first.
now. Um, uh, Well, I mean, I don't know. Jared, unlike you, I believe in settling it on the field. Let's let Louisville settle it on their home field, okay? But here's my question for you about Louisville season. The spread in this one is 17.5. How many games do you think Louisville has won by 17.5 this year?
Probably none, since you're going to ask me that question.
The answer is 2. And do you know who the
Oh,
opponents were in those 2 matchups?
I'm guessing they were probably like FCS schools.
There you go. Eastern Kentucky and Bowling Green.
Bowling Green's a MAC school, so that's one FBS school.
Okay. Cal is better than Bowling Green. Cal's been
Are they?
competitive, and as you said, Cal is competitive to the last whistle in a lot of
No,
these games.
it's some games they are, not a lot of the games lately.
Listen, lock it up. This is my lock of the week.
Oh God,
Cal
God,
plus
run.
17.5 is an instant winner. If you've got any sense, Jared, you'll go in and change your pick, and certainly the listeners will. This is free money.
If you were actually gonna make the argument, Jared, you would note that 2 of Cal's 4 losses have been by more than 17. They
They
lost to
they
they
have.
lost to Duke by a lot. They lost to San Diego State by more. Did wait? Did Cal even field a team in the San Diego State game? Because they didn't put up points. Uh, but their last 2 games, they that they lost have both been closer point spreads than that. So I think they're like maybe figuring out how to play the game. They're also on the cusp of a bowl, man. Like they've got like this is all the marbles for Wilcox. He can get into a bowl game. He might extend it for another year.
I Cal is not 17 points worse than Louisville. In fact, most teams are not. Louisville's good, but they're winning competitive games. They'll win this game.
What are you guys gonna say next week? And like Cal just gets obliterated by 4 touchdowns.
It's not gonna happen. We're not okay.
Okay.
We're
Hey,
just
We'll revisit this a
you
week.
said you said last week that the U would take care of business and cover that 2 and a hook against SMU. David, what happened?
All right. That brings us to our marquee matchup of the week. I'm very excited about this one. This is 7 o'clock on ESPN. Again, nobody's going to be able to watch the game, but it will be happening there. This is Wake Forest trying to lick their wounds, get back in the winning way after getting thumped by Florida State a week ago. They're traveling on the road to face the top-ranked team in the ACC, the one team in the ACC currently projected into the college football playoffs, the Virginia Cavaliers at home. Virginia's a 6.5 point favorite in this one. And you know what, Jared? I'm looking at our picks for this game, and I'm going to let you go ahead and kick us off. It sounds like you have a strong feeling about what's going to happen.
Well, I do think at the end of the day, Virginia at home Saturday night, the fans I'm assuming will come out and attend and support the team.
They
Since
can't watch it on TV.
That's true. There you go, folks. I mean, it's going to be easier for me to actually go down to Charlottesville, 45 minutes away, than watching on my own damn TV here because YouTube TV and Disney just don't have enough money anymore. Am I right? Anyway, watch that game wherever you want to. Virginia does have a good team. Wake Forest just got shellacked by Florida State. They're licking their wounds, as David said. I think they got a lot to process, trying to figure out how to field a competitive team again. I think at the end of the day, Virginia, one-score game, that's pretty much their motto. Win close and just move forward. That's the Tony Elliott special, and I think it does actually continue this week in Charlottesville.
Still, I'm not sure you understand how point spreads work, but
6 and a half is a one-score game, Dave.
just barely. All right, who do you have winning?
It's at Virginia covers 6 and a hook.
What's that?
Virginia? Oh my god. Next.
Don't worry, we already got it recorded.
Yes, but you already have it. Doesn't
We can slow it down.
Oh man,
I, however, am not confident in this this 6 in the hook thing just because of what I've watched my Cavs do to us for the past few weeks. All things considered, like legitimately to me, the Cal game was also a 3-point victory. We just happened to get a really nice tag there to
it was the very definition of a backdoor cover.
it really was. It really was. And so I don't want to pick on that. I'm just going to pick the Wahoos to win, and that's going to be the end of it. But David, you seem a little more confident than that.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, so Virginia did manage to cover the spread on the road at Cal. They have struggled to do so the last few weeks leading up to that game. I don't know. It's hard to make sense of this Virginia team in the sense that they're pretty talented and they're winning games. I think based on the fact that they've been the better team, they haven't actually executed better in a lot of these games. I mean, North Carolina played a better game than Virginia did. Washington State played a better game than Virginia did. I'm not sure Cal didn't play better than Virginia. The Hoos are winning based on superior talent, which sounds bizarre to say that in my fandom that has never been the case. Um, I have to think that eventually that talent pulls it together and plays something more like 60 minutes of football. This is a Wake Forest team where that can happen against them. They're talented. They've shown us some flashes of real potential this season, but they've also shown us a week ago that they can get thumped. If this UVA offense can get things rolling, I think they score enough points to win this by more than a touchdown.
All right. Well, moving on to the quickfire bets, I'll kick us off and say that the 28-point spread that Miami has over Syracuse is ridiculous. And I'm taking Syracuse to cover against Miami, or I would have been if there hadn't been all this talk of everybody else taking Syracuse on the money line, and I got to keep up. So, my advice to all of you is take Syracuse to cover, even if it's closed, even if that gap is closed, it's not going to be. It hasn't though. It's still at -28. Like that's free money. If you 10 down, you get 9 more. That's all you need right there. But we also all saw that graphic. Mario Cristobal's like has a .28 winning percentage in November. So like I think that means that he wins 1 out of 4. And I think that he's not gonna win this one. Like it starts to make me think that perhaps November is just not Cristobal. Like it gets a little chilly and Mario forgets how to play the game.
You know what
So
this means, Jared? It means good news, we just got our picks right. Bad news, Andrew did too. It's not gonna do us any good in the standings.
it'll pull Jared into the black though. That's worth something to
That
him.
is nice.
Whoa. And yeah. I was about to say, I think what it is Mario Cristobal just does not like that November rain, little Guns
Alright,
N'
let me
Roses.
give you, can I give you Jeff's quick fire bet here?
Yeah, go
Um,
for it.
Jeff is taking Duke, covering the spread. I think they're, 10.5-point favorites over UConn, because, Jeff has a deep conviction that Duke is getting no respect, and they deserve it, so he's got the Blue Devils winning big.
And oddly enough, me as the brother, I disagree. I think UConn's going to cover that game. Jim Moore's got a good team up there in Connecticut, and I'm just telling you right now, going up there is not an easy task for the Blue Devils. So 10 on the hook, I think it's just a little too much. I do think Duke finds a way to win, but not by more than 10 at the hook.
Does Jim Moore Jr. actually call the state where his school is located Connecticut?
I would. I mean, it's either that or I'm having a stroke, David. I mean, if we want to be all serious here, I mean, how would it feel if I was over here going, not
Oh,
so funny now, is
bring
it?
us home, David.
Oh, man. All right, here's my quick fire bet. So we said all that stuff a moment ago about how Louisville doesn't win as big as they could. Cal's been keeping games close, stuff like that. You know who is not keeping anything close is the Boston College Eagles. These guys are they actually did play competitive football for a while against Notre Dame, but fell apart in the end. I would take the SMU minus anything over BC. I don't know what the actual spread is. 13.5, it looks like. 2 scores. I think SMU easily wins this by more than 14 points.
Are you putting $500 on it again, David, like you did last week? And you dragged me down with you?
Jared, you've been very critical of my picks, and I get it. I didn't have a great week, though I had the best week on the whole show. Um, but I feel the need to point out that I'm way ahead of you on the season. So it cannot be possible that your failure is all my fault. If you had just picked mirrored my picks all year, you'd be way ahead of where you are, okay?
But then you complain to me the whole time saying, Jared, stop mimicking me.
And that's it for the virtual tailgate. You can send your questions or comments to virtualtailgate@mediabullcrap.com. And always remember these three rules. Never get less than 12 hours of sleep,
Never play cards with a guy who has the same first name as the city.
and never get involved with a woman with a tattoo of a dagger on her body.
Stick to that, and you'll have plenty of time to gaze upon that national championship banner.
Do not take picks
All
from David.
35 of them.
Don't do it. Don't take picks from
That's
David.
ball game.
Don't do it.